This is another TESTUDOS session, and the topic today is the haunting. Why am I talking about the haunting? In the previous videos, I talked about how I left the town where I was, Nakuru town, and came to this place of safety, Bungoma. And it was nice. There was a place where I started staying. There were incidences which I reported, and something was done or is being done about it. I don't know. During that time, I had certain experiences. I told you there are paranormal activities. And during these paranormal activities, I would hear things being talked to me in a psychic manner. And there appeared a time when people or things would have been engineered to act as zombies. It was almost like a zombie apocalypse. Started in an evening, and one would hear talking of those zombie-like things. At first I thought I was getting a mental breakdown. There are times when things happen and now you think, when you have been called insane for some time, you start feeling now this could be a mental breakdown. And they appeared in the form of zombies. You would hear things talking outside like zombies. And there was always a threat not to go back to the other town. Ever get there, you are finished. So I stuck within. I was always sticking within with a threat of, if you do this, your children or your wife will be finished. So many of the time I would just be in the house because I didn't know this place much. I had not moved back around much. I stuck within. I didn't know. When I had to go to town, I would take a motorbike and back. And things went by. Such a situation started going on like that. And there was a zombie or a zombie thing that would communicate. And there was a time when it was being said, if you get there, you'll be finished. We shall kill you. And these things will get to where you are, or people will get to where you are living, you will die. So there was that moving of something, a zombie-like thing. And there was a time when one was given orders purportedly, I don't know, to scare or to do what, that chose to come to the place where we were staying, the first place. And this zombie thing had a Luganda-like accent, would talk every time you say it was Wanji, something, Wanji. Then the question was, now what was happening? I started asking myself, can witchcraft and magic create zombies, or was it my imagination? Then there was a time when those things went on like that. There was a threat, an order to that one, because they were like psychic sounds, others acting in Kenyan language, Gusi language. They would always, they have finished us completely. And that went on for some time. Don't know if it was something to make my mind. Then there was a time when the 1G, supposedly zombie, was ordered to break, but didn't come. But then the 1G thing was saying all the time, I did not come to kill this old man. You told me I will kill the despot. That is referring to the present president of Uganda. I am to kill the despot. And this is not the despot. And it went on like that, like that, like that. Then there was a time when now things started happening. There were some things who were preparing to be taken to the market, benches. And that is the time. It was like a mind or something like that that was working. When that thing was being repaired, somebody would put something like this broken foot for measuring furniture there. And it came to my mind that one part, according to the magic, it was being repaired for going to, one part was being put as a Ugandan altar. Another one was a Kenyan altar. And there was another thing that was there. We had an old charcoal cooking. Most of the time I would be left in the house. People thought I was insane because everybody's saying whatever they are saying. And this 1G thing went on. So spiritually came to a point where something told me you have to deal with this situation. I would remove that foot from there physically and it would be taken back. A time came when now I had to do self, because most of the time, that time I was alone. There was nobody who was taking care of the house. The children, the small children would go to school and come back later in the evening. I would not go there because most of the time I didn't want to endanger them. I would stick within. And then something told me now, start cleaning, clean this place, do this, do this. As I started cleaning there, started coming a vision of whatever was happening there. And what happened is, during that time, some people would pass by. My wife would not believe what I would tell her that time because partly she was hypnotized and partly everything appeared to be happening. When I told you, when you're in that situation, you are lonely in the midst of other people. So I decided to do cleaning, and when I decided to do cleaning, there were those other things that were happening from the other side. So it was like there was a contesting force from the other two places, the holders for the things that were to be taken to where the things were being sold. So I did the cleaning of the house, I did that, I lit. There were some things that were dirty. I was acting like I was insane. I lit some wooden, there is a stove that we use charcoal. We call them jikos in Kenya, too. And there was one that was supposed to be the Ugandan thing. I would wash things and I would do this trying to clean, and everything appeared. And then the one that was Ugandan cracked. And then now it remained the altar that was Kenyan and the other surrounding thing. And this thing went on and went on and went on. And I did cleansing. Cleaning of the place, cleaning of that small area where we were staying, because we had several houses, but ours was attached and there was a small attachment at the back. So I did that even at the back, did proper cleaning, proper arrangement of things. I was like a man who had gotten insane. In fact, one would have talked of insanity. If anybody had come that time, one would say this guy was insane. And I did it until I was very exhausted. And the following day, when I came to, it was You hear people talking of being taken. Now and they try to, and you try to wake up and there is nothing. You are in a coma, sort of. You can hear people, but you don't know what's happening. You cannot be able to get up. You cannot be able to move anything. You're like a corpse. So they rushed me to a hospital. I could hear people carrying, people talking. And when I was talking, I didn't know which place I was, but I was being removed from. They called for relatives and people around to take me to hospital, and I was rushed there. And from there, I was taken to some place, pulled. So I don't know if it is a way of ascertaining if somebody is unconscious or not. I was taken to some room, and some metal, like being pressed here. It will be pressed here, and it will be pressed here. And I was semi-conscious. You can sort of hear what is happening, but you cannot be able to move yourself. Completely. And then there was this thing, because I had gotten a letter. When you write to that, they give you time to prepare. As you do that on your retirement, they have accepted your early retirement, because I did not retire at the retirement age. And now you can be able to wait for the communication. So we were waiting for that. And I didn't know whether the medical, the wife or whatever, didn't know whether the medical card was working or not. So I was taken to some institution, I think. When I was in that state, somebody would press here and press here. And there were conversations in the background. I don't know who was conversing. I don't know what was. Itamfunga choo. Then I was wondering, itamfunga choo aje, and but I could not talk. I could not lift myself. Then there was another talk, female. This one should be destined for Toulouse. You send saying fresh from Kenya to Toulouse. So I was wondering, Toulouse is in France. So I was wondering, Toulouse, France? What? To be taken in Toulouse, in that state that I was in. Then I was moved someplace, and that's a range here. And I felt something. I don't know if it was, but there was no smell or anything. Something on my nose and my mouth being pressed. In that state, something told me, wake up. And suddenly I got up and pushed whatever was being pushed. There are several people. I don't know if it is the first aid way of doing it or something, but pushing on. So I pushed out. And when I came up, I was in a confused state of mind, and something told me, go to the toilet. So I was asking where the toilet was. It was like I had lost the ability to talk, and I rushed to the toilet. When I came back, I was conversing by writing, and I sort of felt something was not right. And I kept writing. I wanted to see a friend to come to that place, because I felt something was not right. And the others were trying to, I think, sedate me or something. And there was this talk of transfer. Then I was wondering, transfer to where? I don't know what was happening. And the wife was very concerned, because I was supposed to be very sick. And I was in her, and the physicians on the other side, I don't know if it was my waking up or whatever, were acting queerly, because you are this way. And when you're acting, I don't know if it was the young men who are getting excited because somebody does and threatens, like they are behind your wife. Somebody strengthening should cover your wife, or and things were happening that were so strange. So I insisted. I wanted that friend called, and my wife had the number and called that person. And within a short time, that person was within there. There was some communications, and I came to, I appeared a bit violent, and when I left with him, I was communicating. I was talking. And those others were saying, now he was pretending he cannot talk. Now he is talking. Strange things happened. I can't describe whatever happened, but there were strange happenings. As I was leaving, I realized that time my medical card could not have worked, and the uncles had, there are some relatives who are trying to, some people close were trying to help get whatever the documentation and other things that would be able to help me if I could be put in the National Hospital, something of the sort. But it was very strange. I came to, I could not be taken to, and I was glad because I was up. I had gone to the trader's house back, and there was the insistence now of, and others were talking of transfer. I did not transfer to where. And my wife was dazed, confused. I think she had never expected something like that to happen. But when that was happening, and I was getting out, I realized it was a hospital I could not have afforded, but there was no need of staying. So I insisted on going home. They insisted on keeping me in hospital, but because I was okay and upright, I pressed on and went home. But recently, while I'm talking of ghosts, the haunting and everything, when I had an incident, a letter of the same for somebody else with a different card was placed where I was. That's why I'm saying some things come haunting. So I was left haunting. Is it a coincidence? Is it a communication? Those are things that happen. Sometimes things haunt you that have happened in the past. But I told you witchcraft is real. I don't know if the zombie thing is real. And when you see such like things, it is a haunting of the past. Could it be you are getting a communication? Or could it be it has just happened coincidentally? And when it's happening coincidentally, some other things are also happening coincidentally. So that's why I'm talking about this serious witchcraft is real. Know that. No, altars. I didn't know at first what altars were fighting, but altars are there, they are real. And sometimes coincidences like that happen, and you feel like you're haunted. The ghost and the zombies are back again. But those were happenings that happened in my own life. That is what has happened. So I'm telling you that there are other things within this world that happen, and they leave you perplexed. They leave you perplexed. That is what I call a haunting. Again, that's my take for now.